Scary.
Before we begin our next chapter, make sure you're subscribed to Snarled and the bell is turned on for notifications. This next story comes from Jeffrey in the UK, who used to live in a house with an eerie piece of furniture that had something attached to it. In 2011, Jeffrey moved to Cambridge for college. The campus was small, so most students moved into communal housing. Jeffrey and 4 other roommates rented a house that was available until the summer, when the owners would move back in. The owners stored anything they couldn't take with them in the attic. Jeffrey and his housemates were warned not to open it. They knew this was because the landlord was trying to protect their belongings, but they still joked there might be another tenant in the house, one they didn't want to get out. Jeffrey's room was at the top of the stairs. He left his room sparsely furnished to maximize the space. Apart from a single bed and a wardrobe, the only other piece of furniture was an old 4-cupboard dresser that the owners had left behind. It had a large, cloudy mirror set in the middle of it. From the first day, Jeffrey didn't like to look in that mirror. It was so warped and cloudy, it reminded him of a funhouse mirror. Something about its murky surface just gave him a chill. After a week or so, he decided he couldn't take it. It was ugly, unsettling, and he hated waking up and looking down into the mirror. He spoke to his housemate Brian about it, and they figured maybe it was just too heavy to move, so the owners didn't move it into the attic. Brian was a fashion design student and loved the idea of adding to his already eclectic furniture collection, so together they moved the dresser into his room. As they carried it across the landing, they were puzzled at how light it was. A couple of people could easily have put it into the attic with little effort, so there was no real reason not to move it. But now that it was out of his room, Jeffrey felt much more at ease. Unfortunately, at the time, he didn't know the impact of his actions. After Jeffrey moved that dresser, locked doors would open by themselves. They would swing open and stop suddenly, not a movement that would be caused by the wind, but as if someone was standing there, opening it. His housemates also complained of hearing thumps and scratches on the floors and walls, but no one owned up to making them. Jeffrey felt like something was trying to get their attention. Maybe their house was haunted. Suddenly, the house became the haunted house, and friends would come over hoping to hear or see something out of the ordinary. They had a lot of fun with the reputation the house developed. For Jeffrey, that fun stopped after a visit from Brian's mother. She walked in the door and immediately froze. Brian asked what was wrong, but she just stood there and looked up the stairs. She had never been in their house before, but she looked at Jeffrey and said, "That's your room?" "Yeah." Without another word, she walked up the stairs and stood in his room. "There's something in here. It's really upset." She and Brian left quickly, and she refused to come back into the house again. Whenever she visited, she would wait outside. Jeffrey didn't truly believe the place was haunted, nor did he believe in mediums, but it was obvious everyone was shaken by Brian's mother's reaction. After that, they stopped joking about the ghost. When Jeffrey and his housemates threw parties, because of the lack of space, they opened up the whole ground floor by moving all the furniture and clutter upstairs. As Jeffrey's room was the largest, most of the stuff was stored in there, including a large amount of laundry and the living room couch. During one of these parties one night, Jeffrey went to bed. He locked his door and fell asleep pretty much as soon as he lay down. He was awakened in the early hours of the morning by a woman's voice calling into his room. Hey, come here. Over here. Come on." The voice was sweet and friendly, the kind of voice you expect to hear from someone you've known for a long time. He sighed and started getting out of bed. Then he remembered the door was locked. It only locked from the inside, and as his eyes grew accustomed to the dark, he saw the door wasn't even open. He told himself it was the clothes they'd piled next to the couch, and he was just hearing someone through the walls. "Jeffrey, come on. I really want to tell you something. You have to put it back. Do you understand? You have to put it back." He kept his eye on the shadow and reached over for the bedside light and turned it on. Nothing. There was nothing there. After 3 years, they finally moved out. Jeffrey was the last one to leave. He was moving in with Justin, another friend from college, who offered to help him move. Jeffrey was cleaning downstairs and asked Justin to bring down some bags from his room. It shouldn't have taken him that long, so Jeffrey was concerned when Justin hadn't come back downstairs yet. He went upstairs and found Justin standing in the middle of the landing, staring into Brian's old room, at the dresser. You okay? What's wrong with that dresser? What? I don't know, it's just creepy. No, it's something else. When I was in your room getting those bags, I felt like someone else was up here. I thought you might have come up, so I came out to find you, and the moment I saw that dresser, I knew that was why. It's like someone's hiding inside it. Justin was one of the most scientifically minded and rational people Jeffrey knew. He laughed when Jeffrey told him about the house being haunted, and never once hesitated to come over. When he told him about the woman in his room, Justin put his mind at rest with how kindly he dismissed it. Yet, here he stood, more scared than Jeffrey had ever seen him. They both went back downstairs, and as they reached the floor, there was a huge crash upstairs followed by a series of loud bangs. They looked back up the stairs and saw that all the doors were shut, even though they were just open. Not wanting to investigate further, they gathered what was left and ran out of the house. A week later, Jeffrey received a call from the landlord asking what happened upstairs. They told him they had come home to find scuffs on the carpet between his old room and Brian's room across the hall. Did you move any furniture across the landing? Yeah, we carried that mirror dresser into the other room, but we didn't drag it, I swear. But you clearly dragged it when you moved it back to the other room. No, we didn't put it back. Well, somebody did. Sometimes a spirit may not understand that it is past and becomes angry when the living interfere with their business. It seems like whatever was living in Jeff's room really just wanted its dresser back. A very special thank you to Jeffrey for sharing this experience with us.